Hello everybody, I am Mike from the Rewatch Project Podcast, and I am back with another edition of Front Row, these music performance reactions, and I am back in the wonderful world of one Elvis Presley, and I'm going to be covering a song called Surrender. I think this one's from the early 60s. I could be wrong. A few people have asked me to cover this one. I've got no idea about this song. I've never heard it before, so as is always the case, you guessed it, this will be a pure As We Driven Snow first time listen reaction. Before getting into that though, just a quick reminder that I do appreciate feedback. Please do leave comments here on the channel. It's great talking to you learned Elvis fans and newcomers alike. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is aboard. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your beliefs. All I care about is that you like great rock and roll music and that you want to hang out and talk about it. So let's do that. And also a quick reminder that I do pause these songs. I do talk over them. That is just how I choose to react. It is what it is. If that is not to your taste, I apologize, but I would strongly urge you to listen to this song in its entirety first if you have not heard it before, prior to me spoiling it by talking all over it. Also check out the other content on this channel, including the Rewatch Project Podcast, where we go back and in that case rewatch some of our favourite film and television franchises, in addition to the other film, TV, music and general pop culture related goodness that cohabits this here channel. Last but not least, very much appreciate donations via PayPal. Really helps with the upkeep of the channel, but as is always the case, please only do so if you can afford to without causing yourself any financial hardship. Your patronage and sharing and liking and subscribing and doing all of those other wonderful things that I mentioned a moment ago is payment enough. Surrender, Elvis Presley. I will now surrender myself to what this song might be, because I have no idea. It looks like a short one actually, so let's go. Sounds like the Bond theme. That's funny actually. I mentioned before about how one of the great missed opportunities is that Elvis never did a Bond theme. You know, Elvis should have done a Bond theme. Sinatra should have done one. Dean Martin should have done one. It is a real shame that never happened. I don't know. I guess the only thing there is, how do you follow that? You know, imagine having to do the Bond theme after the one that Elvis did. Can you imagine, you know, Duran Duran sort of shuffling in like, hey, sorry, we're not Elvis, but, you know, dance into the fire. You know, that it just wouldn't cut it really, would it? Yeah, so I kind of get that. But this sounds like the Bond theme. This sounds like John Barry, you know. And also a lot of the music for John Barry, you know, who scored the Bond movies, did around that era. It sounded like that. A lot of the orchestrations in the Elvis movies, but also in a lot of his music as well. It had that big operatic pomposity to it, and I say that positively. I love the way Elvis does that, and I love John Barry as well. He's one of my favourite composers. So it really is just an incredible match. So it's funny hearing this melody, which is so similar to John Barry's Bond theme. So right, let's go back to the beginning.
When we kiss, my heart's on fire.
Oh, there he is.
Burning with a strange desire.
There's only one Elvis Presley. Okay, that's what I'm getting immediately from this. This is younger Elvis. Beautiful production, great echo on the vocal. Really dramatic, but straight in, perfect tone, perfect timbre, perfect choice of pitch. Incredible vibrato and urgent. There's just such urgency to this. This is one of those songs where it's got the X factor. You know, there are some Elvis songs I've said before where it's just impressive that he's done it. You know, it's almost like a sporting achievement. You know, What Now My Love, and you know, some of those later performances where you're like, wow, look at him do this incredible, skillful thing. But this is the X factor of Elvis. This is just the James Dean, the Marilyn Monroe, the iconic. Nobody else can do this. You know, he was born to do this, and it's impossible to emulate. You know, that's why, you know, we see these Elvis impersonators, and then they never come close. You know, with all due respect, but yeah, this is when his vocal comes in here. This is just a superstar, one of a kind.
When we kiss, my heart's on fire. Burning with a strange desire.
So propulsive.
And I know
Oh,
each time I kiss you,
it's almost got almost Mario Lanza feel to it.
that your heart's on fire too.
Oh, enunciation.
So, my darling, please surrender.
Oh, did you hear that? I mean, it was so so urgent and, masculine beforehand, and then he just opens up this sensitivity and playfulness and personality. It's impossible to define. This is really something. And again, it's not that what he's doing is difficult necessarily. I'm sure it is. I mean, what do I know? You heard me try and sing Duran Duran a minute ago. But this is so one in a million.
But your heart's on fire too.
Here we go.
So, my darling, please surrender. Oh, your love so warm and tender. Let me hold you in my arms, dear.
Oh, beautiful guitar.
While the moon shines bright above, all the stars will tell the story.
Wonderful. Oh.
Let us take this night of magic and make it a night of love. Won't you please surrender to me?
I've talked before about how there's that thing that Elvis does. It's this kind of satisfying reconciliation where the music will stop and then he'll keep singing. And because you're programmed to have that rhythm in your head, when he kicks back in, there's this incredible sense of inevitability and satisfaction. And he plays with this. He kind of slows down time and gives it this slinkiness, which gives it this kind of real sense of humor and sexuality as well. It's really, really quite incredible. And then, of course, there's just what he's doing in the vocal as well.
Won't you please surrender to me?
And there's this beautiful chorus of just angelic, ethereal vocals washes over you and lifts you and carries you. And, this voice, Elvis's voice, is just this guide into this incredible place. And I've said before, Elvis can take you to these places. It's this transformative, transportative transcendence.
Won't you please surrender to me? Your lips, your arms, your heart, dear. Be mine forever. Be mine tonight.
Wow. What a gift. What a gift to the world. Us humans we're capable of really incredible things sometimes. We've got our faults with how we, treat each other and our ugliness, but we're also capable of extreme beauty, extreme kindness, and good character sometimes. And when people create art like this, it really is a tremendous contribution to the universe, and that sounds hyperbolic, and I don't care, because I think that having things like this, that AI can't do this, and I'm not being a Luddite here. Hey, I use AI for my thumbnails. I like having laborious tasks reduced as much as anyone. But there are certain wells that you go to for sort of spiritual nourishment. That can be church or a concert hall or a bar, or your family dinner. And this provides that. This is so art like this that is unique to a person and can only come from one person. and isn't generic and isn't generated, is created and almost feels, I've said before, like ancient knowledge that is just being discovered and found. That's why often when people talk about inspiration, they talk about it being a lightning bolt. It's something that just sort of comes down. And when I hear things like this, it reminds me what a wonderful thing it is to be a human being, And what a gift it is for us to be able to communicate feeling and experiences to other people and make them feel those experiences. 65 years later, when they've never heard it before, and this found me, and I found it through time and had that experience and shared that human moment. It's quite a thing, really, isn't it? Okay, so that's sorry, that really blew me away. That's just a really incredible song, and less than 2 minutes as well. The fact that somebody can be so succinct really is just a tremendous achievement. So let me know what to cover next. Reminder, donations via PayPal, very much appreciated, if and only if you can afford to do so without causing yourself any financial hardship. Check out the other stuff on this channel, and I'll be back real soon with more Elvis Presley. Wow, see you soon. Bye bye.